What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That's the Alexis Arguello puppet. I'm flying solo tonight. We got a great guest. As usual, we're going to get into it and chop it up right here, right now. Yep, come back in. I saw you. You're getting a sneak peek right there. Me getting the guest in here, folks. There's no hidden tricks. There's no editing. We get him right here. Montrell, what's up, buddy? We finally made this happen. Hey, thank God thank God technology is making everything so freaking easy, right?
Hey man, say man, what it do, ski man? I'm trying my best to make it. I had to I had to delete it. I had to delete it, re-download. I feel like I was my uncle just a moment ago. Cause I was just
Tell me about it. I'm 51 years old, and I usually often co-host the show with my son, who's 29. And that's episodes when he can make it. He does have 4 children, so on the episodes that he can pop in here, he's usually more the technical advisor because I'm 51. I don't know shit about technology, and the sad part is I host a podcast and don't know anything. So, but I'm glad to have you on here, though, man. And I love the nickname. First of all, I'm a big nickname guy. I love the Too Cold nickname. I live in upstate New York, man, so I find myself saying Too Cold quite a bit.
Man, I was just in New York. I was just in Queens, actually, man. What's so crazy? I believe you was gonna talk to me about it. But I was supposed to be fighting a guy in New York. That's a local New York fighter, but
yeah,
that didn't happen, and kind of pushed it to Atlanta, and I kind of had other things going on in my life where I fucked up. So we're gonna talk about that.
What did happen though, man? If you care to elaborate, what did happen though? How did said fight fall through?
Man, bro, only thing I'm gonna say is this, man. Mental toughness. I was more on business than fighting. I had my personal life I was dealing with, and then I was also dealing with some stuff that the promotion was nitpicking with me about. Well, I was nitpicking with them about because with me representing myself, I hate when people misinterpret what I say when I'm saying I'm independent. It's the same thing as if I was a rapper or something. I'm independently promoting and representing myself.
Right.
I pay gym dues to trainers that are intelligent and elite enough to help me evolve as a fighter.
Right.
Now, I am independent as a fighter, but I represent gyms. When me going into these fights, when I do sign up on the contract, I go in as business and as a fighter. So when I negotiate these things and they don't come through with the stuff that's supposed to be on the contract, I have to get out of fighter mode and talk into them in MONTREL mode, not too cold.
Right.
So that it becomes a lot of conflict and a lot of confrontation where they try to also use the fact of me being a black athlete against me. Like me being like I got kicked out. Little do people know. I got escorted out of that boxing match with overtime because of them suing me. Trying to turn the situation into me being confrontational. But all in all, it was just me expressing my emotions, talking with passion, and just overall just letting them know, like, if you guys would have just basically handled your business like professionals and not play chess games or play little mind games with me before I got here or whatever, I would have probably performed a little differently, if that makes sense. But overall, neither here nor there. It's my mistake. It wasn't my fault that I wasn't focused to capitalize on that big opportunity. I do want to fight Dante Lanes again, but I know the powers that be, they're going to try to prevent it, but I'm going to make it happen in the future because in due time, he going to have to see me again.
Yeah, well, and as far as boxing, and primarily this is a boxing podcast. I know you do MMA, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But that is when you kind of first came on my radar, was on that card that you spoke of, because there were other guests who have come on this show that were on that card, so I had a keen interest in it. I've had Gerald McClellan Jr. on, I've had Malik Montgomery on, I've had Elijah Pierce, who ultimately didn't end up fighting that night because of an injury, but he was scheduled to headline that card.
It was so crazy because everybody kept thinking I was him. Like, no bullshit, bro. Soon as I get off the airplane, I get to the hotel, the front desk lady and he's there too. And like everybody like, oh my God, ain't this you on the card? No, man, but it will be me on the card one day, but I'm fighting on this card too. But it was crazy. And then I finally met him and told him, like, hey bro, we need to talk. Cause I look like you and you look like me. But he was a good dude, man, real humble guy, man.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome to be on the same card with him, but like shit, shit happens.
Well, he's running that fight back with San Martin though. Like I did see on his Facebook page, it is rescheduled,
bro. Even with that, it's so fucking funny. Majority of the people that was supposed to been on that card is on that card. The card that I was on, if I would have won, I probably would have been on that card. But it's so fucking funny. Excuse my language.
No, that's okay.
I even trolled them about it on their comments. I'm like, damn, it's so funny that y'all got the theme Cold Summer out there. I just had the original Cold guy open this piece, open the on y'all promotion. You feel me? Cause like it's a thing that I was saying to myself leading up to the fight. Cold Summer, like how I'm finna do what I'm finna do and win and just make a thing. But now all of a sudden they use the ideal of what I was presenting to them is on that side. But like it was just crazy. But
you find that now, do you find that frustrating to be a fighter and have to kind of do your own business? Do you find that frustrating? Because it is nice sometimes just to have a team to do that stuff. Is it hard to be a fighter and kind of self-promote and be like your own, kind of do it all?
Man, bro, it's a process, bro, man. It's all on what you willing to put yourself through and what you will. Man, the Lord ain't gonna put too much on your plate that you can't handle. But at the same time, I try to.
Right.
I'm to the point now. I don't want to deal with people who I'm paying to do something. I want you to be paid and then also want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to do it because like how you hit me up, you said, I'm not a traditional boxer, but that I box and I have the experience as an athlete. So you want me on your show. You're intrigued by me. That's what the type of people that's the type of energy I'm drawing to myself right now. And
you have and obviously you have a pulse and a personality too. You know what I mean? So you make for a good guest.
You feel me?
Yeah. I've watched you on other interviews, and I do know this, and I do my homework on people that are coming on here, man. And my son wasn't able to make this one, but I said, don't worry about it. I don't need your help. I'll be fine. Montrel's a talker, man. We'll be good. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man. I was originally a club promoter here in ISO. We started off talking, but my name is MONTREL James. The fight name is Too Cold. Originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I was a club promoter and doing like high school, college parties, little marketing stuff on the urban side of things, sometimes on the college side of things. But then I was homeless. I transitioned and became a fighter. I didn't go looking for fighting. Fighting came and found me. I actually got paid my first few fights, and it was just a boxing match inside of a cage. And then when I actually got offered a actual fight that's sanctioned, it was an MMA fight, and I won that in 27 seconds. And from there, I just continued doing what I was doing as a fighter. It's amazing. It's an amazing process, but it feels like a movie at times. Like even with us just talking about the situation with me and Dante, that shit felt like a movie. It felt like it didn't happen. I feel perfectly fine. I feel like nothing ever happened. But I honestly feel like the things that I allowed to interfere with me leading into that, I can't let that go happen again moving forward, if that makes sense,
Right. It's tough. It's tough in combat sports because like a loss is a lot more detrimental than you see in a lot of sports. You know what I mean? Like if you're rolling along during your football season and you're 9-0, 10-0, and suddenly you drop a game, it's not the end of the world. But it seems like everybody wants to write you off the minute you have a loss or you lose your O. You know what I mean? If you're undefeated or whatever, people seem to want to like sign off on you.
That sounds like them guys that painted that picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You painted for them guys that act all emotional when they take that first L. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think it's kind of the Floyd Mayweather effect. You know what I mean? Everyone got spoiled and thought, greatness is maintaining that, you can't have any losses. But then we see all the greats had losses. Muhammad Ali, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not great if you haven't taken a couple L's.
I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say it's the Mayweather effect. It's the promoter. Let me say not the promoter. It's the matchmaker effect.
Yeah.
And it's the management effect, because those people also has a say outside of the fighter thinking that they could get $1 million each fight, but it's up to the manager there's up to the fighter and the manager to have that relationship where they can each tell each other no, and they should
Right.
be able to explain it to each other and have a civil conversation to make a relationship of growth and elevation and profit happen for each other. Because all actuality, I be hearing how podcasts go where fighters that are elite talking about they want this amount of money, that amount of money, and there are elites and they feel like they deserve it. But then you
Yeah.
got guys that's in the level where I'm at talking about they want that amount of money. How the fuck did that work? You feel me?
Yeah. Right.
So
Right. Right. I've experienced it. I've experienced it.
Our reality, stop being greedy and just get what you can and use your money wisely.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Common
agree with
sense.
you there. I agree with you. And
Common
by the way,
sense.
shout out to St. Louis, man. St. Louis has been very good to this show, man. We've had, and I don't know if you know other fighters. Obviously, you probably do in St. Louis, man. But I've had Stephen Shaw on, a great guy, and of course, I've
What's
had
so
Devin
crazy?
Alexander. I
What's
love
so
the Devin Alexander is a friend of the show. He's the best. Great guy.
absolutely. I actually was supposed to be socializing with Mr. Devin. I'm actually great friends with his brother Von Alexander. Man, I was
Yeah.
his sparring partner. Once upon a time, me
Yeah.
and Stefan. What's so crazy? The fight that I had was supposed to be getting ready for Dante. I asked Stefan, "Can I help him? Okay, can we work together?" And all in all, he turned me down. So it is what it is.
Oh
I ain't
man. Well, that's a
mad,
big.
I'm not
Well,
mad.
I know
It's
he's
just a
got one.
way.
I know he just reached out to me and told he's got one coming up November 2nd, right there in St. Louis. So there is a card jumping off there, man. He just put it on his Facebook.
Yeah, it's a card here coming up September 20th, and then another one that's gonna be that what he's on. It's gonna be on the 20th of November. I plan on having a boxing match after an MMA fight, but I'm a like I explained to a gentleman at a interview. I look at boxing as hard sparring for me compared to martial arts. Martial arts is my
Right.
passion. Martial arts is where I can use all my tools. So it's like, and honestly, with that fight with me and Dante, I was so fucked up. I almost did some stuff to that man on TV where I almost fucked up. So it's just like I said, I was so there but not there, and yeah, that's that part.
Now, do you find it frustrating because we were just talking about like the like the records and getting fights or whatever? And I don't think that you certainly would admit that like your MMA record and boxing record are a little upside down. You know what I mean? Like more losses than wins or whatever. Is that frustrating for you? And is it frustrating in the long haul to get you to attain fights?
Negative, because like we kind of discussed earlier, I'm my own representation, I'm my own entity. So like I try to speak with as much professionalism and enough knowledge to understand where I'm going to get myself into. So I'm daring to be great. So I know all of these guys I'm fighting, like if they are undefeated, and if you do finish me the way you finished me, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. But with me, I know I haven't been doing it as long as these guys that I'm fighting against. So if I beat you, or if I acquire some knowledge from whatever I just done from you, then it's a plus to me,
Yeah.
because I haven't been like him. Like he's been doing it since he was a child. I only been doing this since I've been 25, 24.
Right.
I'm 32.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. There's a
And then
learning curve.
you feel me? And then like what we just kind of briefly spoke on the record thing, like someone just told me, and this is like a state official type of thing. Like he came up to me, he was like, "Yeah, dude, keep doing what you doing, man, because they gonna you know who you remind me of? Bernard Hopkins." I like, "What you mean?" And he was like, "Because, bro, like Bernard did stuff where a lot of people had to see him,
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was like, just keep doing what you doing, and all those people gonna have to see you." And I like, right on, because like I fought and went toe to toe with some legit prospects. Not every person that's in my fight record as a pro has not been a pushover or not a pushover. I probably have one guy that's a pushover, and his name is Kevin Brown, and you can see his record, and that's my first win as a boxer. But every other boxer, legit to the T. And I came up short either by a decision or just overly aggressive because I'm an MMA fighter. But a lot of them, they can all tell you they self, or I heard them say it out they self, he hit hard and he ain't nothing to play with. If he had a little bit more knowledge to the game, it would be a whole different. My apologies for that. It'd be a whole different ball
That's all right.
game.
That's all right.
It'd be a whole different
And
ball
now why
game.
the and now why the venture
Sorry
from
for that.
MMA? And now why the venture from MMA into boxing? Is it a financial thing? Because obviously, you know, there's been a lot made over the years about MMA guys not making as much, and you see a lot of them segue into boxing.
You know, man, I'm not trying to say you don't know how to listen or nothing like that, but like I'm one of them ones that trying to get the money the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get that.
I'm not one of the ones that's tripping off the bread because my integrity is intact. You know, I didn't have fights. Like if you look at my record, I also had fights where I told promoters and told them, no, I'm good. I'm at the event. I done had promotions where I didn't walk away with 2 stacks just because all I had to do was wait in, and they didn't apply to their other part because I read my contract.
Right.
So, the adventure of me being a martial artist and so when I was an amateur, I was 11-6 as an MMA fighter. I was 5-2 as a kickboxer. I turned pro as a boxer. I went 6 rounds against a guy from East St. Louis. He was 6-0, but I never trained boxing. I only was just a natural striker. The fighting aspect of things just happened. Like the person I was training with, it was a gentleman by the name of Jared Daniel Block. He's a martial artist coach and basically just a striking coach. He kind of introduced me to different fights. So whenever he was like, "Oh, I got a fight," I'd be like, "Shit, what's up?" So it was either MMA fights or kickboxing matches. When I went pro, that's when I just stumbled upon boxing. Boxing matches, like I said, I look at boxing matches, or most of them are hard sparring matches. Some of them, back then, I actually believed I could have beat them striking. But then actually, when I started actually doing my homework and actually understanding that the tempo between MMA and boxing is 2 different, that's when I started actually working with boxing coaches and actually learning different things. Like I don't have a permanent striking coach. I'm paying different guys or I'm asking different guys to help me with pad holding. But if I had a consistent pad holding coach, a lot of these guys wouldn't even stand a chance.
Makes a difference.
It's a big difference. If I had an actual pad holding coach, a consistent pad holding coach, I'd blow a lot of these guys out the water.
Yeah, and so the well, you have a birthday coming up, August 31st. So if we don't talk, you know, I'll give you the early happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
and I also see that and I'm curious to get your take on, you know, you're pretty open on your website about marijuana use, which I applaud the hell out of, man. I've done almost all these episodes high.
I was literally just about to smoke while I was gonna smoke while we was talking, but I was
That's
like,
fine.
nah.
That's fine.
Right.
I've done almost all these episodes high. I did get pneumonia back in May, so I peeled back from the smoking a little bit. I've been enjoying the edibles, and I meant to take one tonight for this interview, man, and I completely fucking forgot, man. But that being said, though, man, there was a fight a while back. And I'm interested to get your take on it, where Keyshawn Davis got a no contest in a fight because afterwards he tested positive for marijuana. Where do you stand on that, though? Because I don't feel like that's a performance enhancing drug.
I'm glad you brought him up because what's so funny, man, I've been blessed to have him and a couple
I've had him on the show.
Yeah. Man, he's like, what's so crazy? Me and him both got penalized by Texas. So Texas is so ignorant, bro. Like, I swear, like, so they send me paperwork talking about a penalty and talking about fines, but then they try to explain to me that I couldn't pay the fine that they introduced to me and put on a piece of paper until the process of court and everything goes through and finalized. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then on top of it, the way that they went about it and did it, it was so like unprofessional, like hella unprofessional. And then for me to, like I said, for me to represent myself the way I'm saying I represent myself, it's bananas how, you know, the situation planned out, because it's like, for him to be a higher elite boxer, that's Louis V. For him to be a higher elite boxer, how is it that he got this type of publicity and y'all are who y'all are, and he's trying to finalize it the way he trying to finalize it, but yet it went through the way it did because y'all allow him to be approved, or y'all let them tell it to me. that the process of paperwork didn't hit their desk until later. So that's the reason why everything didn't go through on timely manner. So like this,
right,
if I fought for them in Texas February 14th, they literally didn't get back they got back the drug test, the piss test for the marijuana a week later or so. But then they said that the marijuana test came back, but they didn't get the paperwork on the desk until a month later, which penalized me for my MMA title fight that was supposed to be set for April, which I signed my contract in February. So legally, I should still been able to be set to fight. Now, for them to just penalize me after like a month later, but without no proper notification, like they try to, when I found out about the suspension, they try to expedite me paperwork to my house, and then try to also tell me that I put down the wrong address on paperwork. That I'm like, bro, I've been living in Texas for 2 years. I've been in Missouri my whole life. I lived in New Orleans for a half a year. I know where I'm living at. I'm not giving you
right,
false,
right,
I'm not
right,
giving you false addresses just so I can hide from you. Like, why would I do that?
right.
I got all my other look, I didn't even get my license until 6 months later.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
make like you know what I'm
Crazy.
saying? They kept on arguing with me, and then that's another thing. If I gave you guys personal information, why is it so hard for me to get my personal information?
Right,
Like personal information for me as a government official fighter. Why do I have to go through a chains of ropes and commands if I'm properly giving you this information, that information? Is you guys giving me hell and hot water just so I can, I can get my information from you guys,
right,
So like my issue was with them. I asked them when did the drug test when did you guys process the whole suspension? When did you guys process the marijuana test? All these questions I asked them. They act like they couldn't answer me. That the executive director, he was rude. The person that's over him, he was rude. Then the prosecutors that was helping, I kept asking them like, why do y'all have a prosecutor contacting me for it? As their job is to basically help you and not help me.
right, right,
They're,
right.
they're just milking me for information. Like, come
Yeah,
on, bro. I'm like,
yeah.
and then like I kept breaking down the justice system to him. I'm like, bro, I've been locked up before. I know a prosecutor. You're not here to help me. You're here to just you're here to get whatever information you got, twist it, turn it, make it look like it's them, or
Make a
make it look
paycheck.
like it's, you
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah. Get
So
a paycheck.
it just didn't make sense to me. So I basically, all in all, kept arguing with them, went back and forth, cursing at them. It was a whole bunch of back and forth. Where right now, leading into this conversation, I had a promoter that was in New Mexico. He paid for me to come out to fight. Now I was supposed to be the co-main event. It was supposed to be this promotion called Fight World. Basically, he flew me out. I explained to him what it was. I have a $500 fine for Texas. I can't fight until I pay this fine. He put towards $250 towards this fine. Man, his name is John Judy. I don't care about him. Don't care because he didn't fucked up what I had going on. His name is Jonathan Judy. He was a matchmaker. Basically, moving forward, gets to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, he picks me and my team up from the airport. He takes me and my team to a dispensary, Cookies to be exact, takes us to and then what's so crazy, he identifies that the dispensary just opened up. So when I walk in, they had like a little special little thing going on where they just opened up. So he knew about it.
Right,
So
right,
he takes me after he takes me from the dispensary. He takes me to the hotel room. He checking in. The next thing you know, he try to hit me with some sideways bullshit like, "Oh, don't indulge too much in cannabis." Because I'm gonna give you a little something on that part too. He said, "Don't indulge too much in the cannabis because they will be drug testing you." And I'm like, "What fuck you mean they're drug testing me for? Because why? What we here for? That I told you
right,
what's up."
right,
So moving forward, my teammates started talking to him, and because I just started tuning them out. I'm hungry. You playing games with me, all this other shit. Now, the whole stipulation behind the whole thing, what he said, he was partially right, but I was just like, come on, dude, like make that make sense. Like in certain states that allow marijuana, you cannot smoke the day of. You cannot be over a certain percentage. You cannot be like literally reeking of marijuana. if you smoke last week and you try to go in this week and be clean, that's the best bet for me. The
You
best
should be
advice I
good.
can give. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
best advice I give any fighter that's listening to this moving forward. And I don't know anything else about anything else. That's all I'm gonna say on the marijuana part. But
Yeah.
you know, when that happened, they like basically they told me because I was a co-main event, I was obligated to a marijuana test. I told them, me and my team told them no, because that was not what was discussed in the contract or just discussed in general. So we stood down and didn't take the fight. They told me, they put me on immediately suspension after they lied and told me that they wouldn't suspend me because they said that they needed time to think about what happened. Immediately put me on suspension. All in all, I went to the conference meeting through through the virtual call. We spoke. They couldn't come up with a mutual decision because they couldn't penalize me because every official that wanted to, they was all there to witness it, and so they all was my witnesses.
Right.
So basically, when I explain, they hate the fact that I was so educated about what I was explaining to them or about the case. All in all, to the point where they just basically told me, "All right, well, fuck it, we gonna run your time with you on suspension right now, concurrent, and you'll be off of suspension January, blah blah blah." I like, I bet it was like a 60-day thing from when I got suspended in November, December. So about January 13th, I got off of suspension. But all in all, just to show like how the game is so fucked up and twisted. Like they try to fuck with fighters like me. I don't know about any other fighter. I didn't see a guy drink a whole bottle of vodka a night before a fight. So me
Yeah.
personally, like I said, I can't speak for no man or no woman, but my discipline is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I
Well,
can't
that's
speak
my
for
point. It's
nobody.
not really a performance enhancing drug, though. I wouldn't think that it would fall into. I feel like if you want to smoke before a fight,
Man, it should be
it
perfectly
may
fine.
debilitate your performance, and that's kind of on you.
You feel me? I done seen guys smoke tobacco.
Sure.
I done seen guys hit vapes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So
So
I mean, it's a tit for tat thing, man. Me personally, I don't try to argue with it. I don't even try to put it on people's mind for them. Like honestly, I just got sponsored by a dispensary in my home city. Viola, I believe, STL dispensary.
yeah.
I just got sponsored by a dispensary today.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's not really it's not the big deal that it once was. For God's sakes, I mean, I think combat sports
They
need to
know
catch
it's
up to
not
the
a
rest
big
of the
deal.
world.
They just, man, look, I found out that most promotions got to pay for the drug test anyway.
Right, right.
So for them to say that, oh well, we gonna go pay for this marijuana test and not pay for a steroid test, come on
Yeah,
now, bro.
right. Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
bro. Like you gotta be kidding me, because like certain states, it's literally like I got official. Like I'm connected with so many officials, bro. People don't know who I'm connected to. I just be playing my part or acting slow and just handling my business the right way. Like I come in as a professional. No, I
yeah.
come in as a professional. Anything else is just them trying to play some bullshit games just because they know that we come in. I come in by myself. That's a scary. That's an intimidating scene. A man coming
Yeah,
in by himself,
sure.
to
Yeah,
fight,
no, yeah,
no team,
absolutely.
no entourage, and
I
he
know.
confident.
It's rare too. Very rare. Yeah. And I'm interested to get your take because it's such a polarizing topic, and people's opinions vary on here. But when you see these, we refer to them on here as gimmick fights. When you see these MMA guys against boxers, or you see these Jake Paul type fights, do you ultimately like these for combat sports? I know they bring eyes to the sport. Are you a fan of them?
Man, I'll say it again. I'm a fan of all fights, but I'm not a fan of a person who put in half-ass effort towards that fight, or they been fucked with mentally before the fight. You could tell. I could tell now. Me being the established athlete that I am, the elite that I am, I can see when people being fucked with before. I didn't see. I could tell when someone had come up to them and said some shit to throw them off real quick. I can notice, bro. Like it's just obvious sometimes. You feel me?
Yeah. Who are some guys that you enjoy that are currently fighting right now, just either in the MMA world or the boxing world? Who are some guys from a fan standpoint that you like to watch?
Everybody that's a part of MCS and everybody that's a part of Main Street Boxing in Houston and MMA
Okay.
in Houston, everybody that's a part of St. Charles MMA in St. Louis, Missouri. Other than that, fuck everybody else, and I see them soon.
and so what's the plan now going forward? How active would you like to be for the rest of 2024? Do you anticipate how many fights you'd like to get in? Like, we're already in August here. Would you like to fight a couple of more times?
Man, like I said, I really want to run that fight back with me and Dante, but that's
Yeah.
gonna be a process. But I gotta worry about this fight that's September 7th. I will be fighting an MMA fight for Shamrock FC here in St. Louis. An MMA fight. I'm the co-main event. Right now, I'm just focused on that, and anything else to come, I just tell anybody that I'm booked.
Yeah.
I'm booked. I just tell people I'm booked. You know what I'm saying? If I get a nice offer, then yeah, maybe. Other than that, we'll see what the universe may present to Cole, because right now I'm hoping to get signed to bigger and better things, because I'm a champion at 170. I'm fit to take a fight down. I'm cutting weight to 155, so I'm cutting some weight, so I'm going down the weight. So who knows? I might be able to do some damage to some guys at a lower weight class as a boxer. So
yeah. Now, where do you feel like you do your best work, though? Where do you feel strongest and best at is there a certain weight, or are you pretty like are you pretty much I can fight anywhere and be good from this weight to this weight?
The last part, I feel pretty comfortable with whatever weight class. Now if I gotta, like, with me being at going down to 155, that's a different process. So like if I have to, cut the weight, it's a little weird, depends. But like if I'm already around that weight, and that's something available, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So so you are when you're looking ahead to 2025, what's the game plan? Like because we've had a lot of guys, a lot of young up and coming fighters on here, already calling 2025 as their big year, making bold predictions, making big plans for title shots and this and that. What are you looking forward to in 2025?
Man, my 2025 is already here, man. I'm already winning. I'm going to win. I'm consistently win. I haven't even finished 2024, so whatever it may have to unfold for 25, but like shit, I'm still unfolding 24.
Yeah.
I'm still unfolding 2024. Yeah. So like me jumping the gun, that'll just be me trying to be something that, I don't mind being a foreseer, but I know for a fact I will be on ESPN. I will be on bigger promotions. You will be seeing me around a lot more often than how he is right now, because I'm too much. I'm too much for what they already don't even have. They need me around. They need a good looking fighter like myself around. You feel me? They need a real. Let me not subliminally say, they need a real nigga around. They need a real one, because they ain't got too many of them. They got some, but they get corrupted with the money, and they get corrupted and want to clean themselves up and want to. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Being politically correct. Ain't nothing wrong with being nice. Ain't nothing wrong with being proper. But then, are you really being yourself?
Right. And I've also seen a couple articles floating out there, and I didn't really get a chance to elaborate or read into, how topical, like what specifically you were talking about. But you've addressed in the past, like, some concerns in fight sports with discrimination, though. You know what I mean? Has that played, do you feel like that's played a big part, in particularly in your career?
It was never directed towards me. Like right now, I'm going through a separation of marriage, but it was always towards my partner. With her being like, she was Filipino and black, so she will always get the fire with me, and because she was, and then also being a woman, it was the discrimination part on that end. Like her being a woman, her being her being knowledgeable. A lot of promoters, every promoter, just because it's a woman in the back does not mean she did not have credentials.
Sure.
Does not mean she do not have approval to be in the back, because majority of the promoters and majority of the promotions be disrespectful to women and be like, "Are you supposed to be back here? Do you have a pass?" Talk to them like they're literally nobody. So it may not be like they're directly like, "Oh, you're a black man, I'm a white man," or "I'm black and you're Indian," or "I'm black and you know that." But I definitely seen them say, "Well, I'm a man and you're a woman. You need not, that role." I definitely seen that.
Sexist type discrimination.
Yes, sir. I definitely seen that. Definitely seen that.
Well, it's good that you're speaking out about it, though, man, because you make a great point, though, because it does sometimes seem like it's one big fraternity, it's one big boys club, and it's kind of like, hey, I mean, like, what are these women doing here, and that's a toxic outlook to have.
Man, you just don't understand how much women just feel like outside of what we have as men. Of course, we know we don't have a safe haven sometimes, and most women do try to feel like they can fit in. There's nothing wrong with that, but like the way you handle those situations is not to be disrespectful. not
Sure.
to be not to present what they already look at most men as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well said.
You could definitely approach the woman differently. Hey man, is there someone different here? Who you here with? It's always what a woman would say to me, or a woman would say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, you know?
Right. Good point. I've been married 26 years. I know that that's true, man. You know, I mean, I've learned that lesson. I've learned that lesson many a times, my friend, many a times. You know what I mean?
You get what I
And
mean?
you know what I mean? You don't say it the right way, man. You find yourself on the couch for the night, man. You know, I mean, you know, that's how it goes, man. You know?
Speaking in the car, for real.
Yeah, or the car, right? Well, listen, Montrell, I know you're out there making moves, man. You're doing stuff, man. So I appreciate the time, man. It's been great chopping it up with you, man. Please stay in touch, man. You know, your outspokenness and you're candid and your honesty, man, is refreshing, man. I'd love to have you back on again, man, for sure. Let's do it again, man.
No, absolutely. I can't wait to do it. We could do it after my fight on the 7th. Well, I was gonna say,
without a doubt.
I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, if I may.
Please.
Sure, I want to give a shout out to Oviana. I want to give a shout out to Prince Beauty Supply. I want to give a shout out to TWM Productions. I want to give a shout out to Slapwoods. I want to give a shout out to Viola Dispensary. Shoot, man. I want to give a shout out to Kicks and Cannons. I want to give a shout out to shit, man. If I'm forgetting someone, please. No, Prime Chiropractic and Tinker Training, Fitness and Training. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up, Matt. But yeah, man. St. Charles MMA, I love you guys. MCS, man. Y'all, hey, stay on y'all grind, man. Y'all the next ones after us, man. And everyone in St. Louis, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for having me on your show.
My pleasure.
It must be for you to find me and for you to take interest in me. That means I'm doing something major and definitely making cold moves. So, you know, I appreciate it so very much, man.
Yeah. And I respect the fact that you just, you know, you seem like a guy, irregardless of records or belts or any of that stuff. You kind of remind me of that throwback attitude where, like, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, on any type of notice. You know what I mean? You just seem to want to get in there and fight and make for exciting fights. And that's refreshing in this era where we see a lot of big fights, you know, really getting stalled out or grinding to get them made, and people just beefing on Twitter, and yet we're not getting these big fights made. You know what I mean? So it's refreshing when people are more about the action.
Oh no, I beef with those type of guys. They just represented by some people where they just delete the shit.
Right.
So I be talking shit. I didn't talk shit to some people, boy. I didn't talk some. I be on, man. I be talking shit. That's the reason why I lost my last Instagram page. Like my last Instagram page, I had like at least like a good 9,000 followers, and these are all legit people I actually know, met, and encountered with. Right now, where I'm starting all over, a whole new thing. So and I appreciate that too, man, because a lot of people don't see that, but like that's definitely the concept. Because I was trained under, I believe I stepped in fighting during the end of the old school era. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So like all those old school fighters and all those guys when Bellator got established and UFC was actually becoming more broader to the world before the New York approved the commissioners to actually approve of combat sports over on the East Coast. I was basically I'm an old school Spike TV fighter, if that makes sense.
I like that. I like that because, you know, old school is not just a physical thing, man. It's a mentality and an attitude too, and like, you seem to carry that.
No, for sure, so man, mental toughness. I trained under Jermaine Andre. Jermaine Andre is a legit old school veteran fighter, man. He was one of those legit elite vets that I was blessed and fortunate to encounter in my journey as an athlete.
It shows, man. It shows. And listen, man, I appreciate the time. Stay in touch, man. After your fight, we'll definitely get on here and we'll chop it up again, my man.
Nah, for sure, so man. Follow your boy, Too Cold MMA on all platforms.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon, brother. All right.
Love and peace.
Love. Later, man. There he goes, folks. Montrell, Too Cold James, MMA fighter / boxer, dabbles in both worlds, man, which I respect the hell out of, man. A true, well-rounded fighter right there, man. You want him in the ring, no problem. You want him in the cage, no problem, man. Going where the fights are. hey, that's how you got to market yourself, man. A guy out there that I respect, man. You know what I mean? All on his own, you know, doing it the DIY way, man. You know what I mean? Grinding, man, hustling, you know, self-promoting, marketing himself, man. It's inspiring. It's really, truly inspiring, man. You know, I respect the hustle. I respect the grind, man. And, you know, always love a guest, man, that is outspoken and honest and candid and is not in a shortage for words and, you know, doesn't want to express himself and get on here and engage. You know what I mean? Talk about, you know what I mean? Like, you know, things that went wrong, things that seemed shady, you know what I mean? His misgivings about certain situations or whatever, man. You know, laying all the cards on the table, man. I respect the hell out of it, man. Great conversation. Thank you, Montrell, Too Cold James. And hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Make sure to like and follow us on Facebook, and be sure to like and subscribe to this page for the best boxing conversations. This is where people in the combat sports world come to chop it up like nowhere else, man. The best boxing podcast anywhere on the planet, man. So get tapped in and like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Again, thank you to Montrell, Too Cold James. As he said, go out there and follow him on all the social media platforms, man. You know, he's very active on there, very outspoken, man. You know, stays in touch, you know, with the people, man, keeps you up to speed on what's going on in his life and in his career, man. So certainly worth following, certainly worth, you know, getting tapped in with Montrell. Again, thank you so much for him for coming on and doing the show. A real honor and a pleasure getting the chance to talk to him, man. And remember, folks, if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs. Peace.